Alright, we're on the roof. And yeah, well, I was saying before, usually, in real life, roof access is restricted, You can't, you always see in the animes, everyone can just hang out on the roof, have lunch there, but usually you can't go up there. Usually it's locked, I don't know. I go close to the edge, by her side, questioning in a whisper why she would want to come up here. Claire, however, doesn't move. She lowers her head and holds her hat so that the wind doesn't blow it away, even though it looks like she herself could be stolen away by the wind at any moment. Karen, this question might be old by now, but tell me. Have you ever wondered, after watching a movie, if everyone around you are nothing more than actors? Everything's a big lie with you in the center as the main character. Well, Claire, this is all a visual novel. You're not real, I'm just some weirdo on the internet just reading aloud all of the lines that someone written for this kinetic visual novel, So this is all fake. Anyway. I doubt this game is gonna go that meta, but there's been a couple examples where visual novels have done that, where they go like super meta, I remain silent. Yeah, of course, I've thought about it. Everyone has wondered that at some point in their lives, but it's the sad undertone that worries me. There's an odd melancholy flooding the rooftop and even out onto the beautiful view. When this subject comes to light, everyone is always horrified, scared of being manipulated or deceived. I, on the other hand, think that life would be easier if it was all a farce. I wouldn't have to worry about disappointing or hurting anyone. It'd only be paid to act that way. I wouldn't have to worry about the future. I could always have fun without worrying about the consequences. Everyone would make sure that I get home safe and sound, finishing the episode until next time the cameras start shooting once again. Who cares if they're fake, or if they're hired to do it? Is it really any different than how I'm living now? I can't know what anyone else is thinking. I don't know who's lying or not, no matter how hard they swear upon their actions. From my point of view, isn't a paid kindness the same as the unknown kindness that I receive now? The difference is no matter what I do, I wouldn't feel bad for bothering anyone. On the contrary, only by leaving this world can I be sure no one is suffering at my expense. Claire plays with her skirt as it floats in regular intervals with the wind. Nervously, she brushes the roof with the tip of one of her toes. I guess that depends on the person, doesn't it? She looks at me and stops curling her skirt around her fingers when I reply. It depends, because you could also make someone unhappy by not being close to them. Wouldn't it be a pity to distance yourself from someone, thinking you're hurting them, when it's actually the opposite? Claire answers with a bashful smile, looking towards the town. And if no one can be happy with you, Karen? I lower my shoulders as I sigh before speaking. In that case, there's nothing you can do, but you should verify if it's true first, and along the way you may even find someone who truly loves you for who you are. It's something that you can't really be sure of, no matter what, because there's always the possibility that it really all is just a movie, like you said before. Well, we can't change how others feel about us, but we can change how we ourselves feel. If we know something deep down, then does it actually matter whether or not it's an act? Claire's smile grows, eventually to the point that it evolves into laughter, as she tries to cover her mouth with the palms of both of her hands. Her small body shrinks a little as she laughs, the clothes blowing in the wind on the rooftop from where I can see the entire world, making her seem more charming than ever before. Meanwhile, I must sound completely ridiculous after giving such a corny speech. You know, we've been getting these speeches first from Luce, now from Claire. You know, so I think it's fair. What do you think, Karen? Is that enough of an answer for you? I doubt Claire's question. Answer? What is she talking about? Now it's true. Claire told me before we came here that she had the answer to my problems. I was wondering who sent those emails, the meaning hidden behind them, but that's something I'll never know because ultimately their motive is irrelevant. What really matters is what I've learned from all of this. It may have started with those emails, but all of those decisions from then on were on my own. It doesn't matter if it was due to anyone else that I went to one place or another. I could have always ignored them and gone home instead. Is it more important to be truthful to my decisions and own them with pride? I understand now. This is what Claire wanted to say, but instead, she decided to show me firsthand. Of course it is, Claire. Thank you for everything. She rests her arms atop of the border fence of the rooftop, shaking her head at me. No, Karen, thank you. I'm especially grateful for this moment, for this day. To tell you the truth, this is my first date in forever. I hope you don't mind me bringing you here like this while even asking. I close my eyes and smirk. She's able to say the most daring things with all the spontaneity? It's, okay, spontaneity in the world. Okay. I struggle with words. Anyway. It was fun, Claire. Don't worry about it too much. Although I try to please her with my words, she doesn't seem convinced. What can I do as a thank you? What is this girl missing that only I can give her? Hey Claire, you said before that you study at the other side, right? And I messed up the sentence. Hey Claire, you said before that you study at the other side, right? Anate. She nods. They forced me to join the committee to organize the grad events, and well, you don't have to accept if you don't want to, but would you like to join? The more people there are, the easier it'll be. I get the feeling you like to meet people, and they aren't bad people. I'll accept Ziva, she's a witch. Claire's eyes open widely. I can join? You don't think I'll get in the way? I confidently place my hands on her shoulders. Alice is already on the team, so you couldn't possibly do worse than him. Also, it's not that serious. You can just come to talk. I can introduce you to the others, and we can hang out afterwards, whatever you want. Claire takes a few steps back, moving away from me. With one hand, she prevents her hat from flying away. With the other, she nervously plays with her skirt fabric. Alright, Karen. I'll go there. Don't regret it later. You know how much I despised half-baked answers. Regret it? I don't think so. What could go wrong, Claire? After the mistakes I made over those emails, I don't think there are many things that go worse. And like you told me before, you shouldn't worry so much. She crosses her arms and raises an eyebrow. Did I say that? I don't understand why she's asking me that. Well, that's what you implied before, right? You know, the answers to my problems that you knew before we came here. How the important thing is how I feel. Claire bows her head doubtfully. Oh, not like that. I told you not to worry about the emails because I was a sender. Why does she look crazy? A strong wind blows against us, causing Claire's hat to fly away, and I instinctively follow it with my eyes. It falls little by little, swaying like a piece of paper, towards the streets below us. When I turn my gaze towards Claire, to the girl whom I've been talking to this entire time, she's not there. Nani? What? She's not there? What's going on? I don't understand. What happened? I'm a little confused. I thought, what? I mean, I knew, like, I think she was implying that she was the set knight. She wrote the emails, right? But why did she disappear? I don't get it. Why did we zoom in on her crazy face? Or I don't know. It looked crazy. Anyway, it looked like she was a little deranged. But was it all Karen's imagination? Or was that really happening? I'm a little confused. Oh well. I already told you it's purposeful. Seriously? All those changes between right, left, white, black, tall, and short? I think you're just trying to look intelligent without a real clue as to what you were doing. You're talking about his story? Well, it had to be contrasting. Why do you care about what I do or don't write? It's already been a while since our first meeting in the library began, and to no one's surprise, the last thing we're doing is getting work done. It's more like we're having an argument that will never end. And by argument, I mean that Luz is on the offensive towards me, with the toughness and strictness of a court-martial. It's not like this kind of treatment matters to me anyways, considering that my mind is distracted by other thoughts right now. You could say that I'm taking it in stride. He only manages to upset Luz, who continues sarcastically questioning me about everything that comes to her mind. She, of course, doesn't know anything about the emails or the sender, which somehow helps me forget about the outside world, as if this library is a bubble that's impervious to everything outside of it. And why is the wolf the main character? It's normal to have animals in fairy tales, but a wolf? Because I like wolves. You also have an issue with that? Not to mention that wolves have always been closely related to the sun, moon, and all of those things, so it's relevant. Yes, but you know, wolves are usually the villains in fairy tales. They eat sheep and make life impossible for shepherds and pigs. Well, from the sheep's point of view, the shepherd is only a wolf in sheep's clothing, don't you think? Confirmed, you're just a pretentious hipster. Go grab your MacBook, go to Starbucks already, and don't come back here. It was you who insisted on us working together. What do you plan after this? Illustrate my fairy tale? Make a graphic novel out of it? A manga series? I don't know. If we can figure that out later. For now, just having some references is okay. All I want is motivation for me to continue. That sentence messed me up. We can figure that out. You can figure out that later? Is that a typo, or am I just reading it wrong? I'm not sure. Anyway. All I want is motivation to improve. You aren't taking it very seriously. Or maybe you're overdoing it. It seems like you're more interested in making critics happy than the readers. I only write for myself. I'm not interested in competitions. It's not like I write to win or gain anything. And that's how losers talk. Stop joking. I've told you that writing is like a necessity to me. Everything else is secondary. Trying to sound interesting again. Why would writing be a necessity at all? The heck are you talking about? Are you gonna force me to tell you with one of those requirements of yours? Or maybe with some of your twisted rhetoric? Luz, who up until now never took her eyes off of me, leans back against her seat, puffs her cheeks out and smirks at me. No, not this time. I think it'd be a lot more fun if I try to find it out on my own. Her attitude makes me suspicious of the real meaning behind her words. However, I choose to forget about it, for now. Do what you want. It's not like I'll tell you, even if you're right. Oh yes, you will. Well, what makes you think that? Because you're fair. That's the attitude that justice demands. I sneak a peek, genuinely perplexed, as this is the first time I've ever been praised by her. Don't delude yourself. Over time I've learned that being fair is more of a flaw than a virtue. I can tell you firsthand. Somehow, she manages to transform flattery into insult, but look at her, it's difficult to tell if that was intentional or not on her part. I keep staring at her while she tries to draw something, not really thinking about anything, as if I'm trying to scrutinize her different expressions. Focused on the sheet of paper, she tries to ignore me. Little by little, she grows nervous to the point of her pencil snapping. Are you gonna stare at me all day? I'm not really inspired, to tell you the truth. You haven't even tried to open your notebook yet. How can you know if you don't try? One can sense these things. Also, I'm running out of pages and I don't want to waste them. I already told you that I'm more into letting the story write itself. Alright, we're done here. Let's go somewhere else and take a break. We haven't even started. Break, period. We both need some fresh air. Do you have any other plans? I don't share Luce's enthusiasm, and she gets up as noisily as possible in the process. But when confronted by that question from her, I can't help but remember the mall and everything that happened before I got here. What did happen? We kind of like cut to here, right? So like, I don't know what happened. Will we ever know? I don't know. She seems to notice that I'm thinking and interrogates me about it to the point that I'm forced to talk about the movie I saw in such a way that distracts her from pressing me about my plans before the library. Did you watch the Did you watch the library? No. Did you watch the movie or not? Well, I can't really say watch. In theory, yes, but I can't honestly say it. Then let's go. I haven't watched it either. What? Come on, let's go. Are we gonna go on another date, I guess? Mr. Popular here. We leave the library before I can even blink, and before I realize it, we're watching the movie. But this time, the theater isn't empty. But when it comes to understanding what's going on, maybe it's an okay. I don't know. I think it's another typo. I don't think that's correct. Going on the screen. What's going on the screen? I can't really understand anything at all because Luce is sitting next to me. I'm nervous, not for the reasons one would expect, but because of Luce's unceasing and penetrating laughter. It's almost like she's having a seizure while laughing, causing her to drop a popcorn and spill her drink on me as collateral damage. And the worst part is that this is supposed to be a horror movie. Just laughing her way the scary parts of the movie. Oh, well, you know, is it laughing because you find it funny, or is it laughing because it's scary? Because sometimes people laugh when things are scary, right? They nervously laugh to cover the fact, or rather to cover the feeling of fear. You know, it's kind of a natural reaction. But anyway. Are you listening? I didn't receive any message, so I don't know if anyone else is coming or not. Do you mind waiting while Alice and I go take a look? ... Earth to Edian. Why such an interest in the committee, Ziva? And why did you want Alice and me to join it with you? You're annoying, Edian. I've told you a million times already. Yes, it's true that I may have lied a little about convincing the teachers to help you, but there's no hidden motive. It's too much for me to work, too much work for me alone to do, and you guys are fun to have around. You shouldn't complain after how much I've helped you with Luce. I dedicate a sharp look to the imperturbable Ziva. Finally, I give up, scratch the back of my neck, and then walk into the classroom situated behind me. Don't take too long. Our group is once again visiting Enitais Institute in order to establish the damned committee once and for all. I take my seat in the familiar spot, resting my back against the chair, forcing it to stand on two of its legs, and with my own legs now on top of the desk. I lose track of time as I look at the ceiling and acrobatically twirl my pen between my fingers. I tried to learn how to twirl my pen, but I never really learned how to do it. It always falls. I don't know. There's got to be some trick to it. Anyway. Eventually, the door of the classroom finally opens again. Huh? You're back already? I stretch my neck and try to peer at the doorway only to find someone totally unexpected. So much so, in fact, that it causes me to drop the chair to its original position. Ah, it's Claire. Kieran, I finally found you. Claire excitedly walks over to me. You told me to join the committee, but I didn't know where or when it was. Luckily, I heard that you guys would be meeting today, so I've been looking everywhere for it. I didn't miss anything, right? Her little hands hold mine, shaking them to greet me. But I can't find the words to speak with her after what happened on our last encounter. What happened? What did happen? I'm dying to know. What's that face for? Is it the time of the month? What are you even saying? I angrily break free from her hold. I'm joking. I know that guys don't have those. Why do you look so concerned? Don't tell me I've hit a nerve. Have you held deep within you all of this time the hidden desire to become a woman? Maybe so. What do you want from me, Claire? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Why did you have to hide the fact that those emails were sent by you? Oh, so that's the issue. Don't be silly, Karen. Silly? Silly? A stranger that somehow knew my email address started sending me threatening messages, then I started having coincidental encounters with you, and now you're playing dumb as if nothing ever happened even though you admitted to doing it? How is that silly? A stranger? So that's what it's come to. Claire takes a deep breath and places her hands on her waist. I've never hidden anything from you, Karen, nor lied to you. As soon as the topic came up, I told you, and I don't regret any of it, not even a little bit. It was you, after all, who made me take the first step. I did what? Wait, all that stuff you were saying the first time we met at the pond about your resolution, it was referring to me? Exactly. Although I sent the first email, I didn't really feel truly prepared, but once it started, I couldn't just leave it half-baked. You always end up wondering if what you did was the right call, but no matter how hard the decision may be, you have to accept it, no matter the consequences. And what are you trying to get at? What do you want from me? What did I do to you to cause this sudden interest in me? Maybe magic? That's what I like to believe. I want to know you, Kieran. Know who you are and stay by your side. Don't you think that under any other motivation, I would have had 1,000 other better ways to go about everything? 1,000 lies, maybe? I want the truth. A truth that I still can't define. After all, to me, the most important thing is that you're truthful. Truthful? What does that have to do with being truthful? How do I know that you aren't the one lying? You can't know that, Kieran. Nobody can. However, you can choose what to believe. And I still believe in those prideful words with which you told me that you wouldn't regret me, or you wouldn't regret inviting me here. Tell me, Claire. No tricks or messing around. I want the truth. All of this is because you're in love with me? ... Ellipse. I don't know. But I like to believe that it was love at first sight. Wouldn't it become a perfect story that way? The world suddenly seems to begin spinning at double its normal pace. I have too many questions with blurred answers of no value or resolution. Flee, get away from her, forget her, make her disappear. Both of those are logical ideas that come to mind. But then there's Claire, slightly embarrassed and hiding under the brim of her hat, with a charming giggle, easing all of my doubts. I have an answer prepared on my lips, but I'm interrupted by the always ready to pester me entourage. We're here because we came... Police! Legs up! What the heck are you doing now, Oz? There's some with Idion. It's a girl. Wit and Dimwit pop up at the best possible time, and immediately they react to my surprising companion. Oh, you must be Karen's friends, the idiot and the witch, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's just a little girl. False alarm, deactivating potential hottie analysis radar. Wait, did she insult us? Or did she insult us? Idiot, you know that it's a crime to get with minors, right? I never would have expected this finish from you. Oh. And telling her lies about us too. No time to go to jail, Karen. You got what you deserve, so stop complaining. For starters, this girl is the same age as you. I paused for a few seconds during the introduction. Both Ziva and Oz look at me curiously, and Claire repositions her face to gaze at me, preparing herself for whatever it is that I may say about her and the consequences of such. Well, this is Claire Arguris, a friend. She studies here at Enatai, so I proposed that she could join us with this committee thing, and she accepted. Wow, really? Now that you mention it, she does seem familiar. Maybe from when I was studying here? Nice to meet you, Claire. I'm Ziva Shani, and the guy standing next to me is named Os Aldwin. Os? Tell me it isn't true, Capandro. This girl can't be the same age as me. You're ruining everything I have ever believed in, all of my standards. I love hot women of all different body types and fashion styles, but I've always avoided eating the unripened fruits as a gesture of my gallantry as a gentleman. If you show me such a creature that is born of both worlds, what should I believe from now on? What stops me from becoming a monster? There shouldn't be a god capable of such creation. See? An idiot. I told you so. Certainly, even more than I expected. Hey, Kieran, it was unnecessary, but I'm thankful that you didn't tell them everything about me. With Oz making a ruckus in the background and Ziva trying to stop him, I can't help but sigh after Claire's words. I didn't want to break that which I made alone, or I didn't want to break that which I've alone made. Nothing more. Consider this a truce, but there's still more I want to know, okay? That's okay. Especially when there are things I want to know about you too, Karen. As soon as she finishes her sentence, Claire introduces herself to her new colleagues and I stay out of it. Did I do the right thing? I don't know. It seems like I'll never know what's going on whenever she's nearby. She's just a mystery, I guess. Oh, well, one more thing, Karen. Don't ever put your nasty feet on my desk again. I have to learn there, you know. Oh, this is your desk. But I'm sure that'll never be anything good. Well, I guess the email, or rather the mystery of the emails, is solved, sort of. We still don't know why, but we know who. Taking some random chairs, we sit in what appears to be a circle, situated close to the blackboard. Ziva tells us that they managed to find Luz and that she'll be here in a minute, and it's precisely as we're talking about her that the door opens. Hello everyone, sorry for the wait. An exhausted Luz opens the classroom door. She's pulling the arm of someone I'm unable to see. They seem to be arguing about something in hushed whispers, making the atmosphere heavier for each extra second they make us wait. My classmate here had some issues and asked me to come to the committee alone again today. However, we managed to resolve the problem in time and he agreed to come here by himself. Right? Luz addresses the figure on the other side of the door, who's making it hard for her to get inside the classroom. Everyone else in the room shares the same foreign feeling from watching the scene unfold, except for Ziva, who scratches her head bashfully as if she already knew that something like this was gonna happen. The unknown person finally makes their way inside with slow, heavy steps. His hands are tucked inside his pockets and he lets out a loud yawn. Ziva already knows him, but allow me to introduce him anyways. This guy is Denise de Cruz. Denise? These are the guys that came from Dujan for the committee. Denise greets us by raising one of his arms in a slow and deliberate gesture. His slooped back, scruffy hair, bags under his eyes, and wrinkled shirt give off a careless first impression. His eyes shoot around the room, sensitive to light. He blinks as if he's waking up from a comfortable dream, until they finally settle on me, followed by a clumsy greeting to us. Hey. If I didn't know any better, he would be the protagonist, but we're the protagonists, so I don't know. I see that you're looking as bad as always is. Did you try to duck out? You could at least greet everyone properly. Don't be such a lazy ass. A pleasure for you to meet me, Denise. God damn it. If you're Ziva's friend, then I'll allow you to be my friend too. Name's Os, and my compadre here is Kieran. But everyone calls him Kier, because it's shorter to say. What's up, Kier? How's it going? His greeting catches me by surprise. He gives me a beaming gaze that makes it difficult to guess his attentions. I guess I can't complain. How are you? Excluding the fact that I've been trying to run away from a certain lady who wanted to bring me here, dead or alive. I'm perfectly fine. Better than ever, I dare say. I don't know what you mean, Diz. You came here all by yourself, didn't you? Yeah, whatever. How long is this thing gonna take anyways? I'll remind you that you accepted without complaint when I asked you to join. I don't even remember. I probably only accepted so you shut up, just like I did with Luce. You girls can be such a pain in the ass sometimes. Have you no shame? He's an asshole. Well, he's a bit of an asshole. At least first impression anyway. Kinda like us. Are we clones? Denise seems to fit in with the group pretty quickly. Probably because he already knows most of its members. I, meanwhile, take a look at my left towards Claire, who has her eyes to the floor as she plays with the end of her skirt, just like I saw her do in the recent past when she was nervous. What's wrong? You look pale. Luce and Denise are both from the school, yet neither of them are in your class. Not at all. We're in the same class, but we're from different homerooms. I know Denise, but I doubt he recognizes me. I'm not the kind of person who gets too much attention anyways, you know? Claire is unsuccessful in trying to appear composed. I know she isn't a sociable person, but that's precisely why I invited her to come here in the first place. Still, it's really hard to believe that a strange girl who never shuts up can become so different in front of others. I forgot to say hi to you, Claire. Did they force you to come here too? Kieran invited me. Everything happened so quickly. I'm sorry for not telling anyone. Don't worry, girl. Denise is supposed to be in charge of the committee. It's his fault for not paying attention. He's a little sloppy. I was here as a substitute for a day, and I ended up getting involved in this mess too, you see. Also, my name is Luce. I'm from Class B. Nice to meet you, Claire. Luce and Claire seem to get along fast, one keeping up her usual good girl facade, while the other is only able to answer with shy, one-word answers that keep a good distance between them. Although they look like opposites, there seems to be some sort of connection forming between them, or at least that's what I think. At the same time, on the other side of the circle, Denise is having a conversation with Ziva and Os. No one will be able to tell that he's a new guy. On the contrary, he happens to share some friends in common with Os, so they're already getting along well. Suddenly, Denise sets his gaze upon me once again, which causes me to react surprisedly. He opens his mouth, making me assume that he's trying to say something, but that I can't hear it. In the end, he carelessly lets out a yawn. I shake my head and chuckle. It makes me realize that being the last one to get here doesn't really mean that he's the last one to join, because that position belongs to me. Once the introductions are over, each of us takes our position in the circle, waiting for the first session of the committee to begin. None of the attendants except Ziva have any interest or knowledge of the issues we should discuss in the meeting, so Ziva herself becomes the committee's spokesperson after clearing her throat, and starts with an introduction to the basics. Ziva explains that it's a tradition for both schools to prepare graduation events together. This year, Dujan will be the host school, so we're the ones that need to make sure that everything works as it should. She gives us a sleep-inducing lecture on diplomas, speeches, invitations, parties, and God knows what else. I don't really pay attention to it, and I'm not the only one. You only need to take a quick peek around the room to see the apathy. Denise is fast asleep, making small grunts and snoring noises from time to time. Luz takes the opportunity to draw a mustache on him with a permanent marker that she has for some reason. Claire is trying to hold her laughter while watching the other two and hiding beneath her hat as usual. And Us and I are chilling and playing cards, unaware of our surroundings. Is anybody paying attention at all? Why are you guys playing cards right now? Oh, Karen always has a deck on him. Comes in handy for moments like this. That and a lot of other things. As I always say, a man is as valuable as the contents of his pockets. You've never said that. Stop making things up. You can't even stop playing the fool for just 5 minutes. What's wrong with you? These guys have no manners whatsoever. You can't count on them for anything. That's right, You two would have had more credibility if you weren't drawing a mustache on Sleeping Beauty over there. What's going on? What are you doing with that marker, Luz? Denise wakes up, bringing his hand to his nose when he feels that something is amiss, and immediately goes to the restroom to check a mirror. A blink later, he returns with an unsettling look on his face and rushes towards Luz. What have you done? Have you seen this? You drew the mustache in a different color than my hair. Now they don't match. Quickly, use this other marker I have with me to fix it. Mixing them should make a correct color. That's what you're worried about? Come on, Ziva. In the end, we're all gonna do whatever you want us to do. Don't be like that. Our leader crosses her arms with impatience and disgust as she gives us a small sigh. Part of her wants to get mad at me. The other wants to control herself in order to earn her place in the effin'. That's exactly what this is about, Elian. We're gathered here for a reason. Catch my drift? Catch my drill? Of course you can. Let's go, Capandro. Let's do it. Keep your pants on. I know what you mean, Ziva, so let's get serious. It's hard to believe that when you say it while drawing a pair of glasses on Morpheus's face. Ignore him, Luz. He's just jealous. Keep going. You know what? It's not funny if you let me do whatever I want. You can fix it yourself. Aw, don't leave it unfinished. Now it looks like a monocle with an arm. That makes no sense. I need someone else to finish it. Claire, are you interested? No thanks. Why did you hide under one of the desks before responding? As I was saying, I remember meeting with some of my friends from my basketball team during last year's graduation day to play one last game in the courtyard as a farewell to the graduating members. I know it isn't anything special and that not everyone will be interested, but maybe we could do something like that officially? In addition to everything else, of course. Luz's proposal manages to intensify the debate, creating a storm of ideas in which everyone gives their own version of what they believe would be the best way to say goodbye to our schools. Some ideas are more ridiculous than others, and were even impossible, taking into account our resources. The truth is that I consider all of it excessive, and I assume that everything will end with an all-night grad party at a locally rented building like every other year. After tossing out ideas, everyone seems to reach a consensus. Everyone, at least those who are listening, or rather, everyone, at least those who are listening, proudly give their approval. Is that okay with you, Edion? Can you see yourself participating? It may be my taciturn attitude that causes all eyes to follow me after the discussion, as if they were looking for an endorsement that they don't need. You're gonna do whatever you want, right? I told you before that I'll follow along no matter what you decide to do, Ziva, but don't get used to it, okay? Ziva takes an eternity to smile, with a heavily satisfied look on her face. It makes me feel like she thinks she's won some sort of battle that I didn't even participate in, forcing me to avert my gaze. The dialogue, or more like chatter, gets longer and goes off topic to unfunny jokes that for some reason still make us laugh non-stop. I have to admit, despite being the principal dissonant sound all throughout the committee's meeting, it sure does feel like time flies by now. Before I realize it, Ziva demands our attention once again, this time to bring a meeting to a close. Well, I think this should be enough for today. We can always have another meeting if something comes up, but for now, I think we all know what we have to do. I'm gonna notify them that we're done. Can an innocent soul that studies here come with me to help explain the situation to the teachers? Ziva's clearly staring at the only other woman in the room as she asks. Sure, I'll go too. Wouldn't me one be enough? Okay, I'll come. You don't have to push. The ladies' trio leaves the classroom with more aspiration than they let on. It was as obvious an excuse as saying they needed to powder their noses. After all, Ziva was a student from this school not too long ago. She should know the teachers here well enough not to need any help. Their departure opens a gap between those left behind. The room is now filled with an unescapable silence, or at least until Oz decides to open his mouth. Well, it seems that us men are all alone now. I was waiting for this opportunity. I think the two of you have some explaining to do. Denise and I look at each other, both sharing the exact same expression. What is he talking about? Less feigning ignorance and more answering. Come on, which girl do you guys like best? Then I realize it's Oz who's talking. What else could it have been? We're all gentlemen here, so we should be able to reach an agreement. 3 girls, 3 boys, the answer is quite obvious. They're all mine. That's selfish. Weren't you pretty concerned about Clara possibly being underage before? Did you manage to get over that crisis already? Well, I had enough time now to build our love nest close to the beach, where we'll spend the glorious rest of our days together running a bar for the tourists. I must admit that the speed of your imagination is as overwhelming as ever. I know, but you can leave the praise for later. Now, I would like to know how Denise feels about all of this. Although, because you were the last one to join, you don't get any priority when choosing. There's not too much to say. I've been studying here for my entire life. Both Luce and Ziva have been my classmates for quite some time. I don't know Luce as well, though. She came to this school later. When was it? 3 or 4 years ago? The point is, Ziva transferred schools this past year, so consequently, I lost contact with her. Before that, though, the 3 of us were all friends. I met Claire more or less at the same time as Ziva. However, we've always been in different classes and we ain't close at all, to be honest. It's like she purposely avoids unnecessary contact with others, you know? Basically, I'm not serious about any of them, if that's what you're worried about. I see. You've had awful luck with that girls like Ziva transferred schools to stay by my side. That's a problem with my magnetic sexuality. I like to be less handsome, but it's perfection that shows me, not the other way around. Pfft, I think he actually believes all that stuff he's saying, too. I came here about 6 years ago after traveling around half the world with my parents. That's when I met my compadre here. He was also a newbie who had just enrolled in Dujan and was in need of my guidance. Look at us now, inseparable. Not so much inseparable. Let's just say that I felt pity. In any case, we can all agree that all of the girls are mine. You, Denise, are the last one to join, but maybe you can still get some leftovers, like licking their boots from time to time or something. And Kara, well, Kara has his dolls, figurines, whatever. He doesn't count. Be respectful. They may not be human, but they have dignity. My waifu is the best. No. Come on, compadre. Let's be serious. They're tiny heaps of plastic. The you can lick boots guys talking to me about seriousness? You shouldn't underestimate someone's wishes, Oz. Have you never heard of the Pygmalion effect? I've never heard of it. Pygmalion effect? No idea what that is. Oz shrugs, clueless as to what Denise is talking about. Well, the Pygmalion effect is an incident where a person, through his or her own belief, or that of others, manages to achieve something with faith alone. Like the ability to realize your dreams if you believe that they'll come true. His name, or its name, comes from the Greek myth of King Pygmalion, who sculpts a statue of a woman named Galatea, and he falls in love with her. His love and desire to be with her is so strong that Aphrodite, the goddess herself, answers his prayers to bring Galatea to life. Really, I was wondering, maybe I'm just completely wrong and I'm an idiot, but I was thinking that Claire was like the figurine that somehow came to life, but maybe I'm just overthinking things. And I don't think there's any like magic going on in this game, as far as I know anyway. I haven't seen anything like that, anything supernatural. Are you telling me that if you believe hard enough, you can make plastic figurines come to life? Of course not. Myths are simply stories that have a lot of variations of unknown origins. In any case, if this is the version that has been passed on for a generation, there must be a reason, right? I'm unconvinced no matter how we put it. What do you think, Kiara? Me? That you're both crazy. And even more crazy than the old Greeks, apparently. We're back, guys. Ziva happily walks into the middle of our conversation without paying any mind to how important what we men were discussing might have been. But it's not like we had anything else to discuss anyway, so the three of us settle down and let Ziva speak. We're finished for today, so you can start tidying up the classroom before it gets late. Contrary to Ziva's enthusiasm, the two girls accompanying her share a disconcerted expression as they enter. Both of them look at me, one reflected on each of my eyes, but it's Ziva's voice that wakes them up and causes everything to return to normal. What happened between you guys? The meeting ends, and even though we only talked, I still feel totally exhausted. When they propose that we hang out a bit longer, I have to politely decline their invitation. I'm not the only one who goes home instead either. Denise disappears as if he were some kind of prisoner on the run, and Claire announces her departure with a bashful voice, weak as that of a newborn baby bird. Each goes their own way, taking different paths, even though our town is exceptionally small. But it doesn't take long until I have my first re-encounter. I hear a certain voice that the way it's meant to be, and not the shy fake one she'd feigned only minutes ago. Wait up, Karen. Do you mind if I walk with you? Your house is in the same direction as mine. I nod indifferently and wait for her to catch up so that we can continue onward. Whatever you want, but how exactly do you know where I live? Why wouldn't I know, Karen? I stop. I was half joking, but her answer is too large of a red flag for me to ignore it. Yeah, I was wondering... My other theory is that she's just a stalker. Oh no. Seriously. Seriously what? About my address, how do you know it? I followed you home before, so there's no mystery to it. I thought you were more intelligent than this, Karen. What else could it be? Impossible to compute logic. Please contact the manufacturer immediately. Claire, I probably shouldn't ask this, considering my own criminal record, but... How would you feel if I told you that I've secretly been following you around? Well, why not? Everyone is free to do whatever they want. I'll get straight to the point since we aren't getting anywhere. Is your room filled with pictures of me on your walls or anything like that? Of course not. Don't you have any sense of taste? Such a self-centered style wouldn't be good for feng shui, Karen. I can sense legitimate displeasure coming from Claire as we speak, as sincere as everything that comes from her. It doesn't detract from the importance of her words though, but it certainly makes them appear even more bizarre. I'm gonna get serious because we still aren't getting anywhere. Please try to give me a clear explanation for all of this. I don't see the problem here, but okay. I want to know why you chose to approach me like you did. All those emails suddenly came out of nowhere, and now you're telling me that you've been stalking me? If you wanted to speak with me, it would have been easier to, I don't know, ask? Why do you have to make it so complicated? Karen, we've already discussed this. You're never gonna calm down until you find the answer that suits you the most, not the truth, am I right? Claire shakes her head, displeased, with no intention of responding any further. Nevertheless, because I refuse to give in, she reluctantly decides to speak once again. Would you have considered it any less weird if I spoken to you directly out of nowhere? Would you have remembered me all the same if I was normal? I can see her breathe as she huffs out those two questions. She's highly offended, but shouldn't I be the one that's upset about this situation? Why wouldn't I remember you? Had you wanted to make some sort of impact on me before we met? No, Karen, no, it's the exact opposite. Disheartened, she turns away from me and keeps walking along. It may be impossible to see the problem when I don't even understand what she means, and maybe I'm unable to achieve anything if I only stand back and watch. Claire, wait. I'm not gonna change my answer even if you keep asking. I want to know one more thing first, something I almost completely forgot about. If it's true that you were the one who sent me those emails, then what happened to that order I made online? Where did my package go? Ah, that. Yeah, if I remember correctly. You don't know where it... Wait, what? Who said that? Oh wait, it was Claire, right? So... yeah, if I remember correctly, you don't know where it is? Oh, I guess she's... Okay, that confused me a little, how that dialogue worked out. But I guess she was saying, if I remember correctly, she was trying to remember. But then she interrupts her thoughts by asking a question. You don't know where it is? Do you think I'd ask that if I already knew the answer? Oh, seriously? You should have recovered it already. Maybe you don't recognize it? What are you saying? Can't you tell me what you did with it? Me? Nothing you don't already know about. I have no idea where it could be, but I'll investigate. It must be somewhere. But it could still be on its way, don't you think? I've already checked the tracking and said it was delivered. Poor Karen. See, it's like I told you. You have everything backwards. Backwards? What do you mean? Will you explain anything in a way that I can understand? Clearly? Please? A few minutes later, Claire says goodbye to me at the intersection where our routes split off. I'm too exhausted to continue any longer with that incoherent dialogue. For now, it's just easier for me to believe in her. Believe in the lovely girl that follows me everywhere and thinks that nothing bad can ever happen. I must stay by her side even despite the facts of the matter. I decide to stop questioning her and leave it for another day. For now, I'll simply have to have faith. Having faith, eh?